What exactly is Carnival Firenze all about? Is it still a COSTA ship, a full-fledged Carnival ship, or more of a hybrid in between? Well, we're here to tell you everything you need to know. Welcome to Popular Cruising. I am your host Jason Leppert, and this is our deck-by-deck tour and review of the Fun Ship brand's latest vessel, beginning low on deck 3 and working our way on up. As you can clearly see from the included Piazza del Duomo and extra cost Atrium bar, Firenze was once a Costa Cruises ship that has since been transferred over to the Carnival Cruise Line fleet. If you haven't already done so, we invite you to please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon to be notified when all our latest videos go live. Like on other Carnival ships, here's where live entertainment is showcased from its cantilevered stage. Meanwhile, flanking the atrium is the Carnival Adventures desk for inquiring about and buying shore excursions to enjoy in port. And on the opposite side is the guest services counterpart when anything needs to be addressed during your voyage. Younger travelers will surely appreciate the various children's clubs on board, such as at Circle C just for teens. The vibrant space is perfect for socializing, watching movies, and playing video games. As is Club O2 for tweens on the other side, complete with similar gaming terminals and even foosball. And as you'll later see, younger kids are not left out on a higher deck. This level is also where the first of 2 included main dining rooms is located. The Medici restaurant is a single-story variety decorated with the art of Italian masters. The setting may be formal, but Carnival's usual mostly casual dress code still applies. Then up on deck 4 is the double-decker Michelangelo restaurant, punctuated by none other than an oversized figure of David, overlooking a central stretch of seating. In fact, fans of the line might recognize the statue as previously seen aboard Carnival Pride. As far as food goes here, Sea Day brunches offer a mix of included and extra cost drinks and dishes. Parfaits are fine and beignets are serviceable, but better is Emerald's Bistro Shrimp and Grits. And dinners from the mainstream line are equally middle of the road, but with some flair like a refreshing Hawaiian shrimp poke bowl, or appropriately Italian spaghetti carbonara. It was actually the sweet banana cream pie that most impressed me here, though. Forward from the main dining room is the Limelight Lounge and its partial return to Joe Farkas-style kitschy fixtures. Humor aficionados will know this is the venue for Carnival's Punchliner Comedy Club and its signature sets from a rotation of world-class stand-up comedians. Moving farther down, the outer hallway displays the ship's art gallery of dime a dozen Park West pieces available to buy at auction. Still exhibiting some of its decor as a former card room, the Heroes Tribute Bar has been updated to admirably pay homage to military personnel with special beverages to purchase and enjoy, while also serving as a sports bar. Unlike other ships in the Vista class, there is no interactive Carnival kitchen next door, but rather a welcome non-smoking section of the Firenze Casino, which continues across the way, with even more table games and slot machines, albeit with the unfortunate presence of secondhand fumes. Otherwise, there is a wide variety of retail stores on board, ranging from the fun shops to cherry on top, the latter of which is still the place to buy stuffed animals, and of course, bulk candies by the pound. I must admit this is a personal favorite of mine, especially chocolate-covered gummy bears. And placed among the stores is also the ship's dream studio for getting professional portraits taken for an added cost. Nestled in the bow is the Teatro Rosso, a more dramatic Italian-styled venue that continues to stage Carnival's in-house playlist productions such as Dear Future Husband, which first made its debut on the line's latest new build, Carnival Jubilee. The performance strings together live-sung renditions of Man, I Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain to Marry You by Bruno Mars, all to recreate a narrative of a couple preparing to say their vows aboard the ship itself, making for a playful pop song review. Or even more kinetic and chromatic is the Color My World show, which cleverly stages numbers like Paint It Black, Purple Rain, Yellow, and several more. The rainbow canvas is even painted live as an extra creative element among professional singing and dancing. proving that Carnival shows remain consistently entertaining across the expanding fleet. Also on Deck 5 encircling the Atrium are even more fun shops, as well as Carnival Firenze's Cloud9 Salon. Since the upper deck spa is abbreviated on the ship, its salon services have been relocated here. Another Carnival staple, of course, is Piano Bar 88 for its included live performances paired with extra cost drinks. As usual, the popular standing room only venue fills in as the talented pianist tickles the ivories, and maybe even the cruise director stops by for a serenade or two. Or for dinner and a show, Bonsai Teppanyaki across the way is on hand as one of the ship's several specialty restaurants, complete with 4 hibachi grilling stations. Introductory courses extend to tasty favorites such as spicy tuna on the rocks and pork belly yakitori, as well as a kabuki salad, and naturally miso soup. But where things really heat up are at the grill itself. Open flames die down briefly to make way for prepping fried rice, and even presenting a cute little stuffed chicken in our case, before vegetables and proteins are dramatically set on fire again. Otherwise, the show is mostly the same as on land, with perhaps greater emphasis placed on a combination of available chicken, filet mignon, salmon, shrimp, and even lobster, making for a great value overall given the surf and turf option. Plus additional teppanyaki white shrimp, and said side of always excellent fried rice. I had to skip dessert to make the show in time that evening, but for lunch on another day I made a point to stop by Bonsai Sushi, yet another specialty dining venue for sushi, sashimi, and other bento box offerings. I personally enjoyed the kakuni of delicious wagyu short ribs, with caramelized onion and teriyaki sauce, plus a classic spicy tuna roll, as well as tempura roll, both of which were great shipboard sushi varieties. And while there is no alchemy bar on Firenze, the Amari bar is its Italian equivalent, with the same approach to custom cocktails, made from a wide variety of liquor and house-made syrups and other infusions. We even attended a spritz making class to see one of the ship's bartenders impressively dazzle us with his knowledge and skills. So cheers! Also keeping it classy is Carnival's Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse, which is always super consistent from ship to ship, and is this time presented in a rich, dark atmosphere with Italian touches. Following a beefy amuse-bouche morsel, I enjoyed a decadent Maine lobster bisque, poured right on the spot, before my sizable 18-ounce spice-rubbed prime ribeye steak was similarly plated right at the table. Both were plenty to fill me up, so I skipped dessert again. One thing in particular that Carnival Firenze is not short on is watering holes, and the Frizzante bar is another just outside the ship's specialty Italian restaurant. The sleek space is really quite stylish, and feels simultaneously modern and retro at the same time. It's also where you'll find a wide variety of espresso martinis, my favorite of which is the chocolate orange one, made with Lavazza premium Italian coffee no less. An area where Firenze raises the bar from its usual Cucina del Capitano is at Il Viaggio, easily the line's best Italian specialty restaurant, albeit costing a little more by comparison too, with elevated courses delivered from an open display kitchen. The panzerotti are lovely golden brown pillow puffs stuffed with sausage and pesto, and the misticanza salad is a refreshing mix of baby greens, hazelnuts, and shaved pecorino dressed with a prosecco vinaigrette. Particularly unique from the venue is also a pollo parmigiana pizza for 2 that is made with a chicken-based crust, and as for my entree, I thoroughly enjoyed a succulent jumbo shrimp scampi complete with a creamy lemon risotto. Down the way is also the Pixels photo gallery, separate from the Dream Studio, to select and purchase photos taken during the cruise. And off from a scale model of the ship in its former Costa Firenze livery is the Tuscan Lounge, included for its activities like trivia and other game shows, and bar, extra for its drinks. By the way, speaking of its former livery, the ship was originally intended to deliver Italian style to the Chinese market, but following the pandemic, instead pivoted to the American market. It all makes for a sort of international hodgepodge that ultimately maintains Costa style, with an overlay of carnival fun. As for the nearly full wraparound promenade deck outside, it consists of the included open-air Lanai, free La Strada grill, and another extra-cost bar, with only the Terrazza Moda area at the stern being separate. As we take a stroll along the promenade, We'd like to take this opportunity to recommend booking your own Carnival Firenze cruise through our sponsor, Fairy Godmother Travel, who will magically take care of all your trip planning absolutely for free. To get your complimentary quote, just click the link right here, or follow the website, phone number, or email address below. And speaking of the grill, this is one of several mixes of Italian and American cuisine on board, serving everything from macaroni and cheese, and panzanella and potato salads, to a cheesesteak Milanese and Italian sausage, the result of which is a decent, but somewhat bizarre mix of comfort foods, all of which can be washed down with beverages from the attached bar at the very end of the Lanai. Aft from there is also the Moda bar and lounge. Again, channeling a partial return of Farkas fixtures, is a venue that hosts a blend of included entertainment, an exclusive breakfast for passengers in Terrazza staterooms, and another bar for all to buy drinks at. Or always just for aforementioned Terrazza cabin guests, is the aft-most Terrazza Moda. While similar to the Havana bar and pool on sister ships, Moda does not have a pool, but instead only 2 whirlpools flanking either end, with shaded and padded seating in between, but with the same great wake view. Although not one of the Terrazza accommodations, it was up on deck 6, where my standard balcony stateroom was located. This category features the same layout as comparable cabins on other Vista-class vessels, but with darker natural wood paneling and cabinetry, as well as Italian imagery at the headboard. Bedding runs a little stiffer, but is still comfortable enough. Not teddy bear approved, however, is the fact that there are 2 USB charging ports at one nightstand, but not both. For a newly introduced ship, this is a most unfortunate oversight. Still, the room overall functions well, much as Carnival ships have in the past, and thankfully there are additional electrical outlets and USB ports at the vanity desk at least. Storage, from open shelving to drawers and an empty mini fridge, is very good, and so too are closets with extra drawers, shelves, a safe, and sufficient hanging space. Handy wall hooks also abound, both in the living area as well as bathroom. And the bathroom itself is configured as on previous ships, but with an improved aesthetic displaying wood grains and cultured marbles. And the shower may be relatively small, but at least a fixed enclosure prohibits a shower curtain from blowing inwards. A body wash weekly stands in for shampoo, but I do appreciate the inclusion of a soap bar as a bonus toiletry. Meanwhile, beyond the bed is a scenic window and door that open to a veranda that is well configured with 2 chairs and a table overlooking the alfresco scenery. And even cabin quarters continue the rich Italian decor as we depart for deck 10. Unlike at the Terrazza below, the Versilia pool and bar has 2 whirlpools, in addition to a full pool. Seen here before opening on a sunny day in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, especially its bonus shade structures, carried over from the ship's previous Asian deployment. Adjacent as usual is also the included Pizzeria del Capitano, for grabbing free savory pies throughout the day. Just like the Steakhouse, Carnival's pizza is just as consistently good across the board. And on the opposite side, the paid seafood shack is also a complimentary chicken shack earlier in the day, where fresh fish is on display in the later hours. And I modified a tasty chicken crunch sandwich with Munster cheese midday, before returning for an extra-cost New England clam chowder and crab cakes, although I found each's flavor profile to be a little underwhelming this time around. Decorated by some of my favorite art on Firenze is the complimentary Lido Marketplace buffet and its various food stations. And loads of tables and seating, not to mention soft-serve ice cream dispensers, where I most enjoyed the strawberry flavor. Reprised again off from the Lido pool is a Free Guys burger joint, but its menu too has been made more Italian. Of course, you can still get favorites such as the Plain Jane or Straight Up, but replacing the likes of the pig patty is a pepperoni pizza burger and super melty moots, the latter of which was surprisingly enjoyable with its fresh mozzarella, diced tomato, balsamic, fried basil, and donkey sauce. And although described as a Mexican-Italian fusion, the free Tomodoro is really just another Blue Iguana cantina for custom burritos and tacos, with all the fixings down the line. In addition to some separate choices, including an Italian meatball hero, Sicilian chicken wrap, and torta de Milanese. But as you would expect, it was the bespoke burritos and tacos that most resonate, particularly on Mexican Riviera itineraries. While there are no Blue Iguana Tequila Bar, nor Red from Rum Bar on board, the Rococo Bar effectively takes their place with many of the same drinks, but with Instagrammable graffiti-strewn art from Italy. Speaking of which, I tried a refreshing frozen cocktail named and composed after the Italian flag. Displaced from levels below is also a newly poolside JavaBlue cafe, still serving a super wide variety of coffee-based beverages, as well as boozy and non-alcoholic milkshakes and floats. And where guests can purchase specialty gelato on board. Zesty orange most called to me, and I'm glad its citrusy goodness did. As another significant difference from other ships in the class, the upper level around the pool has been brought farther inwards to enclose an architecturally accurate Italian courtyard. This provides many more shaded areas to sit, but definitely reduces the number of loungers that can catch the sun. And although there's still a full-size pool, a lack of accompanying whirlpools here makes for a striking omission. But on one special night of each cruise, Festa Italiana makes full use of the space. During the deck party, passengers can take photos with and of the crew, donning Italian costumes, participate in a terracotta trek challenge, enter a gelato eating contest, or further dance the night away traditionally, as well as to Italian-American pop songs. And no doubt there is yet another chance to enjoy Italian light bites here. Up on deck 11 at the same courtyard is also Carnival Seaside Theater for complimentary film screenings, since there is no premium IMAX theater on this particular Vista-class vessel. And the expanded upper level also allows room for yet another free Il Mercato. Expanding on Carnival's deli offerings, with extra tomato and mozzarella sandwiches, and even hearty meatballs, which I found go well with the venue's Caesar salad and pretzel rolls. Across the way, the Pergola Bar is home to free activities of table tennis, and a selection of other classic board games, as well as additional drinks to purchase in a sublime garden-esque space. Not to be forgotten is also Camp Ocean for children younger than teens and tweens. Encompassing its special Dr. Seuss Bookville corner, Build-A-Bear workshop and other craft stations, indoor play area, mixed-use space, and additional spots subdivided by age. There are even outdoor play areas and jungle gyms on either side of the indoor facility. Or for all ages, the sports court calls guests as a full-scale variety that even features Carnival's chief fun officer, Shaquille O'Neal, for a playful size comparison. But the question is, do you have the height it takes to dunk? Or for a more relaxing alternative, there are even more loungers and padded pods to recline in, either in or out of the sun. Interesting to note is that this is the space where Cucina del Capitano and GG Asian Kitchen reside on other ships in the class but are missing on Firenze. Next on deck 12 is a jogging track that meanders above the pool deck. But again, no skyride as on other Vista-class ships, sadly. Still present though are a mini golf course that extends to deck 14, as well as the warehouse as a traditional paid video arcade. Also along for the ride is Carnival Waterworks, still very much sporting its Costa colors, but complete with an interactive splash pad area and several water slides, all of which offer great vistas over the ship should you wish to stay dry. And although smaller than that on its sister ships, that is without a full thermal suite, the Cloud9 Spa and attached fitness center is still beautifully Italian in its decoration, and well outfitted with a relaxation area, treatment rooms for massages and the like, his and hers locker rooms, and scenic dry saunas. And said fully equipped, forward-facing gymnasium. It's on penultimate deck 14 that the mini golf course continues, and the ropes course begins high above. Even without said skyride, this at least affords guests the opportunity to reach the highest points of the ship. And finishing up on deck 15 is the Serenity adult-only retreat. As its name implies, only those 18 and above are allowed to enjoy the amenities therein, including another pair of whirlpools, lots of padded loungers and alcoves, as well as one final extra-cost bar, and even fresh creations for complimentary custom salads. All before taking a dip again, and simply resting and relaxing. Now for our final pros and cons. What we disliked as pains in the aft are that there are USB charging ports at only one nightstand in entry-level accommodations, multiple emissions since preceding Vista-class ships, and the hodgepodge of remaining Italian theming. However, what we most liked and can take a bow are the ship's otherwise overall success with Carnival fun Italian style, particularly elevated Italian specialty dining, and memorable collection of bars. Thanks so much for watching. If you would, as it really does help support us, please like this video with a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel while hitting that bell icon to be notified of new videos. Watch our other ones and visit popularcruising.com.